Well, Man United is going to be hosting Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow at Old Trafford, and the game of football is going to be played at that stadium. And as it stands, a lot is really going to be on the cards for the club of Manchester United, as Erik ten Hag is under pressure to obviously win a game. And remember, this is going to be our third Premier League game ever since we came through from the international break. The first one was won against Southampton by 3-0, and we drew to Crystal Palace. And now we are obviously trying to put in the required shift altogether to see to it that everything really moves on as planned for the club of Manchester United. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And as it stands, I would like to let you know that Spurs has been having a very good run, by the way, for them, because in the Premier League, they went ahead to obviously win their game of football by, I think, 2-1. Was it 3-1? We are playing against, they are playing against Brentford over the weekend. In the midweek, they went ahead to win when they're really having a man down, and Manchester United has been registering draws. But the hugest positive of the club of Manchester United is they've gone ahead to obviously put in the shift every time they've been called upon in attacking. But the problem is they don't kill off chances, and Solanke Dominic is really scoring for fun. Over the weekend, I think he was on target, and even in the midweek, he also found himself on target and went ahead to put in an assist. So when we go to the side of injuries, Man United are having the following players. Luke Shaw is out, but Gabriel Malacia is out. Gabriel Malacia is back training with the first team, but Ten Hag confirmed to us that there is no player that is really going to be coming back. Only those players that were part of the squad of Manchester United when they're playing against Crystal Palace and FC20 are really going to be a variable. And the other team, the other player that is out is Lindelof, is also not yet back to obviously come through and really put in the required shift altogether. Lenny Yoro, he's back on the grass, but we all know to it that he might obviously show up early November to give United the required shift altogether to take us to where we deserve to be. So for Spurs, they're really having, I think, 2 injuries only. Richarlison and Wilson Osbert. Those are the 2 players that are going to be missing out of this game. Son Heung-min was taken off, but I tell you, he might really showcase into this beautiful game of football as the side of Manchester United hosts the side of Tottenham Hotspur. So the big game is going to be on, and I tell you what, it's going to be played at Old Trafford, and United has a very good record at Old Trafford when it comes to obviously playing the side of Tottenham Hotspur. So we wait to see how that pans out. Now this leads us into what we call the it leads us into what we call the probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United, as Erik ten Hag went ahead to make some huge changes in the midweek, and we anticipate more changes to come in through. Now, Andre Onana is obviously going to be maintaining his position in between the stitches for the club of Manchester United, and I think has been doing well. He has been doing very, very well as a goalie for the club of Manchester United. On the right-sided centre-back, obviously, you can talk about Mazraoui obviously coming through and really putting the required shift altogether, because a lot is really happening on his side, and they're only positives, because I think he's one of the best right backs in the league. In the first 5 games played, he's really showing huge maturity and experience, and the only thing that he needs obviously adding to this game is his game going forward. If he improves that, like the end product of his game, like putting in those crosses and cutbacks, that will obviously make a lot of sense. Then on the left, obviously it's going to be Dalot. That is it, because we don't have any fully fit left back, and at the look of things, we should really be getting on a player. We should obviously be looking forward to Malacia returning very, very early in the games that we are really going to be playing. But at the look of things, looks like he'll return after the international break as a player. Right-sided centre-back, Matthias de Ligt, who never played a minute in the game of FC20, will obviously come on and obviously retain his position as a right-sided centre-back. The manager is playing him sparingly because Harry Maguire came in through and represented for him. Left-sided centre-back, it's going to be Lisandro Martinez. He played 90 minutes on Wednesday as we played against the side of FC20, and he never put a foot wrong. He had 100% passes completed onto the pitch. That is the back five of Manchester United, and looks like this is the back five of Manchester United that is really apt. And we don't know what will happen when Lenny Yoro returns, but looks like this is the ideal back five of Manchester United. And for everyone who has been asking the manager that you should be putting in what we call a constant team, and I think he's now trying to find his team. And if Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia arrive, then we'll obviously be knowing that any of those will be starting on the left back, and on the right back it will be either Mazrui or Diego Dallo. You understand? Now, let's go to the midfield. This is where I think Erik ten Hag has to find his ideal double pivot partnership, because in the previous two games of the Premier League, it has been Kobbie Mainoo and Eriksen. And I believe Eriksen is a good player, but he should be one of those players that should be coming off the bench to obviously come and really change the game because of his style of play and everything that is going to obviously happen into the game. And that is the man known as Eriksen. So for me, I believe our double pivot should be comprising of one, Manuel Ugarte. Let's get him into the team immediately. Get him into the team, because there is no doubt that he was brought in to do the job into that position. And these other talks that he should get used to the Premier League, I hate that. And if at all he doesn't want to start Manuel Ugarte, let him come up and start up a player called Casemiro. Starting Eriksen, I would rather start Casemiro in that midfield, because I think if he wants to start Eriksen, then let him bench Bruno Fernandes and play him in the number 10 position. And I think he's a better option. He's a better option when it comes to changing the game off the bench. And I think we should really use him off the bench because he can come up and obviously open up these compact teams. Then alongside Manuel Ugarte, it's really going to be Kobbie Mainoo into the mix. Remember, Manuel Ugarte played 90 minutes when you're playing against FC20. Then Kobbie Mainoo played like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into that game of FC20. And I'm going to be fuming tomorrow on the Match Day Live, provided the manager of Manchester United goes ahead to really start Eriksen in that midfield. I'm going to be fuming, even if we win that game of football, because that can't act. That is not good. It's not good. You know, you've brought in a player who is 60, you brought in a player for 60 million euros, and you don't want to obviously start him, yet these are the games that he's supposed to be playing at. Get him in and see what is really going to be happening. So, I believe that a lot has to obviously come into play to see to it that a lot really gets into the mood. So this is exactly what is happening for the club of Man United. I believe that double pivot will do wonders, and I know that Kobbie Mainoo will obviously have all the allowances to go up front the pitch if at all he's being partnered with Manuel Ugarte, other than partnering him with Eriksen, and you lose out on the quality of Kobbie Mainoo going forward. I believe Kobbie Mainoo can do a better job than Eriksen going forward because he can take on players, he really has a very good pass, and his energy is really high up into the sky. Now, let's go to the central attacking midfield. Obviously, there is no way Bruno Fernandes is going to be dropped, but obviously, he's one of those players that is really having a nightmare at the club of Manchester United, and the way he's playing is really very, very, very bad. And there's no way you obviously tell me that he should be playing into the team of Manchester United. But it's another game of him to exonerate himself, and you never know what Bruno Fernandes is really going to be doing into his beautiful game of football, because he can really surprise us and obviously come good into this game that the side of Man United is really going to be playing against a side called Tottenham Hotspur at Old Trafford. Now, on the right attacking midfield, I've seen very many people say that it should be him, that it should be Alejandro Garnacho, and I'm like, guys, let's be real. Unless otherwise, Ten Hag wants to change the style of play and hitting them on the break. But if you feel like we need to continue playing as we're supposed to be playing, this man is really very vital, and that is Amad Diallo. He deserves to obviously get into the right attacking side starting position as a player for the club of Manchester United. And I know people have reservations about him on his game when he played against FC20, but I think the entire team was really struggling and he was not put onto the ball very many times as a player for the club of Manchester United. You remember, then on the left, it would be Garnacho, but the manager likes Marcus Rashford. But you never say never. The manager might be going to be rotating, because the past weekend, Rashford played off the bench. Then, the second weekend, in the midweek, he started Marcus Rashford and played Garnacho off the bench, meaning that we might be into the rotation basis, and the manager is really ready to obviously rotate. And in that due course, he never really say never. Never say never. Ten Hag can surprise you, but high chances are that this guy is really going to be starting on the left attacking side of the midfield, and that is none other than Marcus Rashford. Then, leading the line, Rasmus Hojlund or Joshua Zirkzee. I think we should give Joshua Zirkzee another chance, And let's give Joshua Zirkzee another chance to start, because we know what he brings. And after giving him a chance to start as Joshua Zirkzee in this game, I think in the midweek, I start the man himself, who goes by the names of Rasmus Hojlund, leading the line to the game, because they're going to get in more minutes that will enable him to do the needful. He came on and played like we had already 20 against Crystal Palace. He had some another 20 minutes against FC20. So I believe that Joshua Zirkzee deserves another chance. Not so? Because he makes us look more and more better as a side of Manchester United. He really makes us look better and better and better, especially going forward. His link-up play is really great. And I know the problem is all about Manchester United not really having the best people to know the game of this guy. And if they better understand the game of a player called Joshua Zirkzee, I think our front three will be so fluid, and we'll find ourselves really doing a lot of positives as a club of Manchester United. So I think that should be the probable starting 11 for Manchester United. I don't know who Ten Hag is really going to start or who is really going to relieve, but you see to it that they are musts. That back five is not going to change. It's really going to be like that. Kobe Mainoo is going to be in the mix. Bruno is going to be in the mix. And on the other players, he can start Garnacho for Amad Diallo. He can do a lot into his game of thinking. So I don't know what your thoughts are onto this beautiful game of football, but that's my probable starting 11 for the side of Manchester United. And for Tottenham Hotspur, Vicario, Porro right back, Udogie left back, Christian Romero and Van der Ven playing into the central defense. Then I think it's gonna be Bentancur. Yefis Bissouma had a very beautiful game played, and I think he's going to be playing the James Maddison, and then Kulusevski, right attacking midfielder, Son Heung-min, left attacking midfielder, then Maddison is going to be played as a central attacking midfielder, and Solanke will be leading the line for the side of Tottenham Hotspur. And why I believe that this game might obviously go easy for Erik Ten Hag is this team is really going to open up. And you know to it that when a team opens up, Ten Hag can really kill off that game. And I think he likes to get a team that really opens up and has spaces. And Bruno Fernandes enjoys such games. Amad will enjoy. Rashford will enjoy. So we wait to see how everything's really going to be panning out into that game. Now, let's hit into the match stats head-to-head as provided to us by Google. 1. Manchester United have won 24 Premier League home games against Tottenham Hotspur. Only Arsenal have beaten an opponent more often at home in the competition, 25 versus Arsenal. So, United has all what it takes to put in the shift, and in the due course of really putting in a shift, if they win tomorrow, they'll be 25, equaling Arsenal, and will be joint top with Arsenal when it comes to obviously beating a single side at home, and it will be all about 25 times. Secondly, after a run of host-to-head Premier League defeats against Manchester United, 2021 and 2022, Tottenham are now unbeaten in their last 3 games in the league. Obviously, they drew at Old Trafford, and they've gone ahead to beat us at their stadium, I think, twice. You get? Sorry, we drew at Old Trafford, they beat us, and the other previous season it ended 2-2 in favor of nobody. Thirdly, Manchester United have lost 7 of their last 19 Premier League home games, including a 3-0 loss to Liverpool in their last such match. They had unbeaten. They had been unbeaten in 20 Old Trafford before this current one. You've heard that right. And then fourthly, you obviously have since picking up 14 points from their first 6 Premier League away games under Ange Postecoglou, 4 wins, 4 draws, and 0 losses. Tottenham Hotspur have picked up just a further 14 points from their last 15 on the road, meaning that they've won 3, they've drawn 5, and they've lost 7, including among ever-present sides over the last 2 seasons. No side has won fewer Premier League away games since the start of November than Spurs. Lastly, since the start of last season, only Man City, 31, have gained more points from losing positions in the Premier League than Spurs, who have gone ahead to gain 28. Spurs coming from behind to beat Brentford 3-1 last time out, and that was the game they played last weekend that saw them really collect those points. So for me, if I'm really to put all that, I see a 3-1 win for the club of Manchester United. That is it. I see a 3-1 win for the club of Manchester United. I don't know what your thoughts are. That's my prediction, and I believe that it's really gonna go that way. So what do you think about it? I think this is the game we need to win and really raise our spark to our ceiling and see to it that we go to play FC Porto and Aston Villa with a high gear. And these games, if won, can really get the pressure off Erik ten Hag. If lost or drawn, obviously Erik ten Hag will have a lot of pressure accumulate onto him. So that is the man himself, known as Manchester United, and that is the probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United. And as it stands, I sign out. Who do you think should obviously be into the starting 11 of Manchester United, and who do you think should be out? For me, I believe this should be our starting 11 for now, and I wait whether the manager will obviously make it happen. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I sign out for now. See you later. I call upon for your predictions into the comment section below and what you think about my probable starting 11. Bye bye.